This week is absolutely crazy for the Forex markets. We have so much news coming in that will likely cause prices to spike all over, talking about the dollar, talking about gold, and of course the US indices as well. In this video, we're going to be covering all of those and my thoughts going into this hectic week. Let's get started. So here's a look at forexfactory.com for the week ahead, and you can just see red folder after red folder. But I want to start by highlighting some of the biggest ones for the week ahead. Now, of course, we have some stuff on Tuesday, but things really start to heat up on Wednesday with the Federal Reserve's FOMC statement and the federal funds rate that comes out. To be very, very frank, this one will probably cause the market to spike quite a bit. Right now, we are anticipating to see what the actual interest rate comes out to be. Are we going to raise rates up to 4.75%, or are we going to raise rates to 5%? And this is heavily going to impact the markets across the board. But following that, we also have Thursday, we have the UK also doing their bank rate statement, which of course will be a very impactful thing for pound pairs and markets across the board as well. And finally, just to icing on the cake, we've got NFP on Friday. All of these things will cause quite a bit of volatility here across the financial markets. First, I'll just give you guys a quick rundown on a trade that I have open. I'm currently long NZDCHF from this entry last week that I shared inside of our VIP Discord channel, which by the way, will be popping this week. If you're not already in the Discord and you would like to join, two things you can do. If you want to join the free version, you can use the link down below in the description to join our free Discord channel ahead of all this volatility to stay up to date with everything that's coming out. And if you go for the paid version, you can also see the trades that I take in real time. I'm currently long NZDCHF. My stop loss is trailed into profit. And this, like other assets, will be impacted likely by the news that is coming. I'm looking for a move back to the previous highs, which will net probably around $2,000 overall in the account. If that can happen, I'll look to trail stops and lock more in on this trade. Like I said, currently floating a nice little profit of $1,000. We'll see if that lasts going into all of this craziness this week. So again, Wednesday is our first one with the federal interest rate decision coming out. And the question is, are we going to get 25 basis points or 50? And if we get 50, what's going to happen? If we get 25 as expected, what's going to happen? Well, I'll give you guys my thought. If we come out at 25 basis points, it's probably going to be continuations of what we've seen so far recently, which is, of course, the dollar continuing to sort of be on this downward path versus, things like gold and the S&P 500, which we would expect to actually continue higher. That would be at least my scenario or my first opinion on this stuff going into this week, is that if we get that 25 basis point rate hike that we talked about, that will probably just be more of the same. Trends to the upside on gold, the S&P 500, but we have to talk also about the other scenario, which is of course the 50 basis point rate hike scenario. This would probably cause gold to fall apart, and we could take a quick look at gold. If this happens, I'll probably get stopped out of this trade that I'm in, which is a long position on gold. Let me show you guys that in just a second, pulling up my Webull now. All right, guys, so here is my gold position, and you can see we're slightly in profit, though I entered this on Friday. It hasn't moved too much, and it's a really small position for me. This is still one that I took based off the technical analysis standpoint. My stop is below market lows, and you can see here is a trading view look at my position. I'm long on gold this week. We'll see if that ends up staying on. And if, again, like I said, if 25 basis points happen, I would expect that price should continue to rise as it has been on gold. And I'm looking basically for this level here, 1925, to be sort of our line of defense. If buyers are able to hold this, we should be able to make a push back to the previous highs. And again, like I said, if price breaks through those lows, I will be taking a loss if we break through the previous swing low here, where we pivoted and found buyers right around this 1911 mark. So if we get down into the 1907 point, break that 1910 point, we're going to be out of that trade for a loss. Otherwise, we'll be looking to trail stops. Now, going forward, let's talk also about the dollar. Now, I briefly mentioned that the dollar has been on a downward trend. We have some interesting points here. If price pops on some of these news events, right? NFP or FOMC, I'm sorry, not FOMC, the rate decision from the Fed on Wednesday. If either of those cause a pop, so far the dollar has been in a pretty strong downward trend. And my first reaction to that would be, okay, sell the rally kind of concept. If price makes moves up into these areas, sellers might want to try and take that as an opportunity to get short and continue this overall trend to the downside. Now, if we see something incredibly bullish for the dollar, perhaps a 50 basis point rate hike and jobs numbers come out much weaker than expected, and that could cause some fear to come into the markets, perhaps break us the other direction. But I really think you don't get bullish on the dollar until you start to see a break at that 102.8. So for me, there's no scenario right now that I see the dollar bullish in the short term. In fact, if anything, pops I would treat as initial opportunities to sell, more likely for me going long on gold or looking to go long on the S&P 500. Now headed over to the watch list, you can see a couple of assets why I'm biased on these things going right here. Gold, long bias. The NASDAQ and the US 30 long bias. This is the Dow, the NASDAQ, and gold we're looking at. All of them have bullish biases. And a real quick run through as to why that is. The crowd is short biased on all three of these. You can see, well, not on NASDAQ, but on the gold market and the US 30 or the Dow Jones, we see retail traders very heavily short on these assets, whereas on COT data, we see a bullish factor for gold. And let's actually take a closer look at gold in isolation. So pulling up gold, what we can see is that gold going into this week looks pretty dang strong. Now, of course, we'll have to see if that holds and anything can happen, but my bias starting out this week is to the upside. So looking at this, what we can see here is that we get a +3 and COT data showing us institutional traders are net long and retail traders are net short. This is information that can be very useful in our analysis, understanding what big money is doing versus, sort of, for lack of a better term, amateur money or dumb money. If we take a look at seasonality, the month of January and February, both of these months tend to be positive months for the gold market. Useful information for sure, giving us a bias to continue looking for upside. Trend has been pretty strong recently. GDP growth has also been on the just decline a bit recently, which of course recessionary fears can cause a bit of a stir on the gold market as well. So gold, a primary one that I'm interested on the long side, and I may actually even look to add to my position this week if we get a retest back into this low. I took a small initial trade mostly because it was a Friday when I took this trade, and holding it over the weekend, I just decided to keep it a small trade. But I may look to add to my trade should we get a retest. And if I do take that trade, again, it will be shared inside of our Discord channel where I share all of my trades and updates. If you guys aren't already in here, then feel free to join using the free one down below in the description, or you can pay for the signals if that's something you're interested in seeing in real time. You can see what Frank and I are trading. You can see he just put out an alert here this morning, and we are consistently updating our positions each day. So check that out down below. And of course, also you guys saw the EdgeFinder. If you want access to the EdgeFinder, you can try it out for free. You can use this information. This data can be very, very useful to make better informed decisions with your trading, not just technical charts, but also looking at fundamentals and of course, sentiment analysis, COT data, smart money trading, retail sentiment, all that sort of stuff. All of that will be linked down below in the description if you'd like to try it out for free. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great trading week. Be safe, and we'll see you back in the next video. See ya. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.